Think about the last time you stepped inside the lobby of a true elite, ultra luxury hotel, perhaps a hidden amen sanctuary tucked away in a historic forest, a majestic Ritz-Carlton overlooking a roaring ocean cliffside, or pristine Mandarin Oriental floating high above a chaotic global metropolis. Do you remember that exact sudden physical sensation that washed over your body the moment you crossed the threshold? Within a fraction of a second, the aggressive, exhausting noise of the outside city vanished. Your breathing automatically slowed down. Your shoulders relaxed, your heart rate dropped, and a deep, profound wave of absolute peace and belonging settled over your mind. You felt almost instantly as though you had stepped into a protected, parallel reality where time had slowed down, and where your every psychological need was already anticipated. We like to believe that this immediate emotional transformation is simply the natural result of spending a massive amount of financial capital. We tell ourselves that luxury hotels feel particular because they buy expensive marble floors, hang giant crystal chandeliers, and hire staff to greet us with polite smile. But if you strip away the superficial glitz and the pricing tags, you're looking at something much more profound. You're witnessing the execution of a highly disciplined, invisible science. You are entering a masterfully engineered psychological fortress built through the art of layering. The world's most successful luxury hotel empires do not simply build shelters or lease temporary bedrooms. They're absolute master of atmospheric conditioning. They understand the deep structural secrets about human nature to make a human feel being an intense sense of safety, luxury, and belongings. You cannot rely on a single grand gesture or an aggressive visual statement. True psychological comfort is achieved by stacking invisible microsensory filters between the individual and the chaotic reality of the outside world. Luxury hospitality architects do not just skate walls and ceilings. They design with the physics of light, the architecture of shadows, the frequency of acoustics, the biology of materials, and the subconscious memory pathway of fragrance. They construct an intricate, multi-layered sensory envelope that slowly peels away your social armor, detach your brain from your future anxieties, and gently anchor your consciousness into the immediate, peaceful present. In this 40-minute deep dive, we are going to open the Utah private designed dossier of the world's most exclusive hospitality empires. We will look past the marketing brochures to reveal the hidden spatial mechanics that operate behind the velvet curtains. We will investigate the mathematics of the threshold sequence, where hotels use physical space to slow down your walking speed and alter your cognitive rhythm. We will decode the secrets of acoustic and sense stratifications, revealing how empires manipulate your brain chemistry before you ever see a room. We will analyze the evolutionary psychology behind material and lighting layering, discovering how textures and shadows trigger primal feelings of protection. And finally, we will uncover how you can steal these master-level principles to transform your own private homes into a high-performance emotional sanctuary. Welcome back to our channel. If you have ever crossed a threshold and felt that a space was holding you in a warm, invisible embrace, then you are already standing inside the matrix of luxury design. Let's unlock the secret psychological art of layering. To fully comprehend how luxury hotels manipulate human behaviors and emotion, we must begin our analysis at the exact boundary where the outside world ends and the sanctuary begins. In the vocabulary of elite architectural design, this is known as the threshold sequence. Average or low-end hotel structures are built for immediate geometric efficiency. You walk directly off a noisy, polluted city street, push through a revolving glass door, and you are instantly standing in front of a loud, brightly lit reception desk. There is no spatial transition. Your brain is forced to process the stressful transactions of check-in while your nervous system is still hyper-stimulated by the adrenaline of the city traffic. The world's most exclusive hotel empires view this direct layout as an absolute psychological failure. They understand that before a guest can appreciate luxury, their mind must be systematically decelerated. They treat the entrance not as a simple door, but as a deep physical decompression chamber designed to bend your perceptions of space and time. Consider the magnificent spatial strategy employed by Amen Resorts, an empire universally celebrated by architects for its mastery over psychological transition. When you arrive at an Amen property, you almost never pull up directly to the main building. Instead, the architecture forces your vehicle to travel down a long, winding and heavily forested private driveway. This winding path is calculated psychological buffer. By curving the road and blocking your views of the destination with dense natural trees or raw stone barriers, your architects are deliberately disabling your brain's future-focused tracking system. You cannot see where you are going, which forces your consciousness to drop its future anxieties and pay attention to the immediate organic present. The outside world is being rhythmically pushed into the distance with every turn of the wheel. When your vehicle finally stops, you do not enter a lobby. You step out into intermediate open-air transition zones, a grand courtyard, a covered stone pavilion, or a walkway suspended over a completely silent pool of water. Hospitality designers call this the compression zone. The architecture intentionally narrows your field of vision, lowering the height of the ceiling and flanking your body with heavy, enduring walls of raw timber or textured stones. Psychologically, this compression triggers your primitive evolutionary software. As we discover in our exploration of prehistoric caves, a human being experienced an autonomy drop in subconscious anxiety when their back and sides are securely enclosed by heavy material boundaries. The low ceiling and solid flanking walls tell your amygdala the wide open, unpredictable landscape of exposure has ended. You're now inside a controller perimeter. But the magic of the threshold sequence lies in what happens immediately after this compression. As you take the next step along the pathway, the low compressed corridors suddenly explode into a vast, soaring and hyper-symmetrical high-ceiling atrium filled with the distant sound of moving water and flooded with soft ambient lights. This dramatic architectural release is known as the decompression shock. By rapidly expanding the volume of the space above your head, the architect introduced a sudden mild state of psychological awe. Your eyes are naturally drawn upward toward the line Your chest expands and your brain releases a sudden burst of dopamine. In that exact coordinate of space, the final remaining residue of your travel state is completely shattered. The architecture has manipulated the volume of air around your body to signal a radical civilizational shift. You're no longer a hurried traveler navigating a chaotic world. You are an honored guest occupying a sovereign kingdom of absolute peace. Furthermore, luxury hotels use specific floor materials inside the stressful sequence to manipulate the physical velocity of your body. Have you ever noticed that the flooring material changes multiple times as you walk from the entrance toward the inner lounge? At the immediate outer entry, the ground is paved with rough, irregular natural stone or cobblestone that cause those shoes to make a distinct loud sound and force your eye to look down slightly to monitor your balance. But the moment you pass into the inner sanctuary, the stone pavement smoothly transforms into incredibly deep, plush, hand-woven wood rugs or polished hardwoods that completely silence the acoustic ring of your footsteps. This material layer does two distinct things to your subconscious mind. First, the sudden silence of the footsteps strips away the psychological feeling of urgency. In the modern city, speed is loud. In the sanctuary, peace is completely silent. Second, the soft mechanical feedback of the deep carpet or polished wood causes your muscles to relax, naturally reducing the length and speed of your walking step by up to 20%. The hotel is literally using the texture of the floor to alter your physical velocity, forcing your biology to match the slow rhythm of the luxury environment. You have been tamed by the ground beneath your feet. Once the threshold sequence has successfully decelerated your body and cleared your cognitive RAM, the luxury hotel empire begins to execute its most sophisticated defensive strategy: sensory stratification. This is the art of stacking invisible, non-visual layers of environmental design, specifically acoustic, aroma, and thermal currents, to completely insulate your subconscious mind from outside reality, long before your conscious intellect has time to analyze the beauty of the furniture or the quality of the artwork. Your primitive sensory organs have already processed the space and made a definitive judgment regarding its safety and value. The first invisible layers that elite hotel empires masterfully control is the acoustic envelope. In low-end commercial space, the acoustic environment is chaotic, accidental mess. You hear the harsh mechanical hum of air conditioning unit, the deep vibrations of city traffic passing through the windows, the clatter of kitchen dishes, and the overlapping voice of strangers echoing off hard drywall surface. This acoustic chaos keeps your brains in a permanent state of low-grade cognitive fatigue, as your auditory cortex is forced to constantly filter out background noise to focus on relevant information. Luxury hotels eliminate this mental drain by treating sounds as a structural material. They coat their ceilings with invisible, high-performance acoustic plasters that absorb sound waves rather than reflecting them. They install double or triple glazed acoustic glass windows that feature a vacuum layer specifically calibrated to completely neutralize the low frequency vibrations of city traffic and sirens. When you stand in the center of an elite hotel lobby, the soundscape feels strangely, beautifully dense, like you are wrapped inside a thick layer of velvet. Voices do not echo, they drop off softly within a few feet. The mechanical hums of technology is entirely missing. Instead, the lower layers, the environment with highly intentional, low-frequency acoustic mask, the gentle, rhythmic spark flash of a central courtyard fountain, or ambient background drones specifically composed with tempos that fall well below the human resting heart rate. This acoustic shielding signals to your deep brain that there are no sudden, unpredictable threats in the environment, allowing your nervous system to fully collapse into a state of deep, restorative rest. Beneath the layer of sound lines, the highly secretive world of olfactory architecture, or scent stratification, the world's most iconic hotel brands do not simply spray random air fresheners into their corridors. Empires like the Ritz-Carlton, Amand, or Edition hotels spend millions of dollars hiring specialized master perfumers to design a completely unique, proprietary signature fragrance that is pumped continuously through their centralized ventilation networks at a highly precise molecular density. The psychology of aroma is direct pipelined to the most primitive regions of human brain. While visual image must be processed by the logical cortex before they can evoke an emotion, your olfactory nerves are directly connected to the limbic system, the ancient emotional core of the mind where memories, instincts, and basic survival scripts are stored. Luxury hotels exploit this biological shortcut with immense precision. They design their signature scents using heavy base notes of green amber, dark cedarwood, black tea, or raw leather. These specific organic scents evoke deep, subconscious memories of historical safety. The smell of a clean forest, a secure stone library, or warm wood burning hearth. But the true genius of sense stratification is its power over memory reactivation. When you check into a luxury hotel brand in London, and then 3 years later check into a property owned by the same brand in Tokyo or New York, you'll not instantly detect this exact same signature fragrance. Within a fraction of a second, your limbic system recalls the deep feeling of relaxation and security when you experienced during your past day years ago. The aroma acts as a psychological key, instantly unlocking a pre-existing state of comfort and trust. The brand has managed to build a consistent global home for your emotions out of nothing but invisible molecules floating in the air. Finally, this sensory envelope is completed by the meticulous management of thermal and aerodynamic layering. In an average building, air conditioning is delivered through aggressive, high-velocity vents that blast cold air directly into your skin, creating dark zone and mechanical noise that keep your body physically tense. Luxury hotels exploit this biological shortcut with immense precision. They design their signature scents using heavy base notes of green ambers, dark cedarwoods, black tea, or raw leather. These specific organic scents profiles evoke deep, subconscious memories of historical safety, the smell of a clean forest, a secure stone library, or warm wood burning hearth. But the true genius of sense stratification is within a fractions of a second, your limbic system recalls the deep feeling of relaxation and security you experienced during your past day years ago. The aroma acts as a psychological key, instantly unlocking a pre-existing state of your comfort and trust. Finally, this sensory envelope is completely by limitless. Luxury hotels utilize a technique called displacement ventilation. They deliver conditioned air at an incredibly slow velocity through massive hidden linear diffusers built seamlessly into the architectural baseboard or shadow gaps of the ceiling. The air does not blast against the body. It gently floods the floor level and slowly rises as it warms, creating an invisible, uniform thermal blanket around your skin. The air temperature is kept precisely between 21 and 22 degrees Celsius, with the relative humidity strictly managed at 50%. By maintaining this exact microclimate, the hotel ensures that your skin receptor has never have to register a sudden change in temperature. Your body completely forgets about the climate. It enters a state of absolute environmental equilibrium, allowing your consciousness to completely let go of its physical defense. Once the luxury hotel empire has successfully insulated your subconscious mind using invisible acoustic, olfactory, and thermal shields, it turns its attention to the physical objects that your body directly touches and your eyes actively process. This brings us to the master level execution of tactile and luminance layering inside the private luxury suite. When you enter a standard hotel room, the visual and physical experience is often flat, linear, and predictable. The walls are smooth drywall painted in a single monochromatic tone. The lighting comes from a harsh central ceiling fixture that floods the entire room in a uniform white glare, and the furniture surfaces are finished in cheap, smooth plastic or highly varnished veneer. The room offers zero texture, zero depth, and zero mystery. It is a space designed for basic industrial utility, and your brain treats it with cold indifference. An elite luxury hotel suite approaches your biology with a completely opposite material philosophy. It completely bans flat, synthetic, and uniform surface. Instead, it builds an intricate, multi-layered tapestry of authentic organic texture that environmental psychologists call tactile calibration. When you run your hand across the walls of a high-end luxury suite, you will almost never find plain drywall. The surfaces are finished in complex lime washes, raw clay plasters, natural silk wallpapers, or deeply rendered timber paneling. On a biological level, these textured materials do something extraordinary to human psychology. They eliminate visual friction. A flat, shiny synthetic wall reflects light in harsh, uniform glare that forces your eyes to constantly adjust their focus, causing a subtle, continuous state of optical fatigue. But a texturized plaster or wood surface contains thousands of microscopic, organic irregularities. This variation gently cuts the light, absorbing it and scattering it across the wide, soft spectrum of micro-shadows. The walls feel visually soft, deep, and historic. It communicates an aura of organic origin and timeless stability, reassuring your primitive biology that you are wrapped inside a permanent, reliable stone or wood sanctuary. This tactile richness is further heightened through the meticulous layering of fabrics on the bed and furniture. A luxury hotel bed is an absolute masterclass in mechanical comfort, stratification. It is not just about a soft mattress. It is a highly calculated pyramid of distinct material densities. The base-like layer consists of a heavy, pocket-sprung core that provides deep structural support. This is topped by a thick, high-density natural latex or wool toppers that isolate body movement. Next come layers of script, high thread count Egyptian cotton sheets that feel cool and smooth against the skin, followed by a lightweight down duvet, and completely by a heavy, texturized cashmere or mohair throw blanket resting at the foot of the bed. When you slide beneath these covers, your body registers multiple distinct tactile feedback simultaneously. The immediate cool smoothness of the cotton, the light loft of the down, and the comforting, secure weight of the heavy cashmere throw pressing down on your feet. These specific combinations of light smoothness and localized material weight triggers a philosophical response known as deep pressure stimulation. It signals your nervous system to reduce adrenaline production and instantly raise the level of serotonin and dopamine in your brain. The bed functions as a physical crate for your biology, swaddling your body in a material envelope that guarantees absolute deeper sleep. But all of this material layering would completely fail if it was subjected to the wrong quality of light. The world's most exclusive hotel employs treating lighting design known as functional utility to have you see, but as a primatum of emotional manipulation known as luminance stratification. If you walk into a private suite designed by the master hotel architect at midnight and look for the main light switch, you will discover something surprising. There is no single switch that turns on a bright setting light. In fact, there are frequently no visible light bulbs anywhere in the room. The hotel has completely banished the direct top-down white glare that modern science has proven spike cortisol production and disrupt your circadian rhythm. Instead, the lighting is delivered through a highly sophisticated system of indirect layering. Architects hide powerful, low-voltage warm LED light strip inside hidden architectural shadow gaps, where the walls meets the ceiling, behind the bed headboard, and beneath the floating bathroom vanities. The light never hits your eyes directly. It washes softly down the texturized plaster walls, reflects gentle off the natural wood floors, and glow out from behind structural panels. The light behaves like a liquid, pulling softly in the corners and gently illuminating the low perimeters of the room. This indirect baseline is then layered with localized stars-like elegant table lamps fitted with thick fabric shades that diffuse light into a soft orange glow, and adjustable low glare reading spots focus strictly on the page of the book. The color temperature is of every light source is locked strictly between 2200 and 2300, 2700 Kelvin, the exact thermal frequency of a natural wood-burning fire or a fading golden sunset. By layering light from ground up, keeping the sources hidden, and restricting the color spectrum to warm, fire-like tones, the luxury hotels create an environment rich with comforting shadows and sharp transition. This luminance stratification speaks directly to your ancient evolutionary cave psychology, telling your mind that the sun has completely gone down. The predators of the outside world are locked out, and it is finally safe to lower your visual guard and slide into a state of absolute psychological peace. Now that we have successfully opened the private dossier of the world's most elite luxury hotel empires, dismantled their design blueprints, and decoded the invisible science behind their sensory, spatial, and materials layering, we must confront a vital, deeply practical realization. This extraordinary technology of emotional manipulation does not belong exclusively to multi-billion-dollar corporate brands. You do not need to spend thousands of dollars a night checking into a premium resort to experience the life-changing benefits of an absolute psychological sanctuary. The true value of analyzing these master-level environments is that it provides you with a definitive scientific blueprint to reclaim the sovereignty of your own private living space. Our modern homes in this hyper-accelerated century have unfortunately become extensions of the chaotic outside world. We pack our rooms with cheap, uncoordinated furniture made of synthetic plastic and chemical glues that offer zero tactile feedback. We flood our ceilings with harsh, high-voltage white light downlight that disrupt our circadian rhythm and keep our nervous system in a permanent state of low-grade alert. We allow the acoustic noise of city traffic to rattle down our windows, and we leave our desk clustered with unmanaged paperwork and digital wires, forcing our visual cortex to constantly burn valuable cognitive fuel just to process the visual static. We're living inside a space that actively drains our energy other than recharge our souls. To transform your private home into a high-performance emotional sanctuary using the art of layering, you must begin to applying the principle of the spatial decompression of your own front entrance. Look closely at your current entryway layout. When you open your front door, do you step directly into the chaotic center of your living room or kitchen? You can fix this architectural vulnerability without tearing down walls. Create an intentional, dedicated compression zone right at your entrance. Paint the immediate entry walls in a deeper, richer, and more grounded tone than the rest of the house, such as deep charcoal gray, a muted forest green, or a raw earth terracotta. Install beautiful, solid wooden bands right next to the door and place a deep, heavy-hand woven rug directly on the floor where you step. This material layer acts as an immediate physical buffer. The change in floor texture and deeper color palette signal to your subconscious mind that the public landscape has officially ended. As you sit on the bench to take off the shoes and feel the soft feedback of the rug, your body automatically drops its social armor. You have successfully engineered a private decompression chamber that forces your biology to slow down. Next, execute your own layer of olfactory and acoustic isolation. You do not need expensive commercial ventilation networks to build a sophisticated sense brand for your home. Choose one single premium signature fragrance for your private space, focusing strictly on natural essential oil diffusers that feature heavy, rounding base note of sandalwood, cedarwood, amber, or vetiver. Avoid cheap synthetic floral air spray that trigger chemical sensitivity and raise subconscious tension. Use this exact same fragrance constantly across your entire home. Over time, your brain will build an intense, automatic neurological association between the specific aroma and absolute safety. The moment you walk inside and detect those molecules, your limbic system will instantly disable its survival alarms, plunging your mind into a state of deep trust. Simultaneously, eliminate your home's visual and acoustic friction by addressing your lighting layout. Immediately disconnect and turn off the harsh, top-down central ceiling lights. They are the absolute executioner of domestic peace. Instead, replicate the luminance stratifications of elite hotel by building lights from the ground up. Purchase inexpensive warm light strip located warm 2700 Kelvin temperature and hide them behind your living room media panels, underneath your kitchen cabinets, or behind your bedroom headboard, allowing the light to wash softly up the walls. Fill the corners of your room with low glare table lamps and floor lamps fitted with thick linen shades that diffuse the glow into a soft fire-like orange tone. By hiding the light bulbs and relying entirely on indirect, warm reflections, you fill your home with comforting shadows and soft transitions, creating a primitive cave sanctuary where your eyes can finally rest. Finally, elevate the material reality of your private suites through tactile calibration. Stop buying disposable, mass-produced furniture finished in smooth, artificial laminates. When selecting items that your body directly interacts with every day, prioritize raw, unyielding honesty of authentic organic textures. Save up your resources to purchase a solid oak dinner table that showcases the natural irregularities of wood grain. Choose a sofa wrapped in deeply textured nubuck leather, heavy cotton boucle, or raw linen. Transform your bed into a multi-layer pyramid of comfort. Invest in a high-quality mattress core. Lay down crisp, clean 100% long strap cotton sheets, and overlay the foot of the bed with a heavy, texturized wool blanket that provides deep pressure stimulation to your body at night. When you deliberately layer your home with these organic materials, hidden lights, grounding fragrance, and transitional perimeters, you're doing something far grander than simple interior decoration. You're actively participating in the ancient 10,000 years history of human domestic engineering. You are rewriting the physical matrix of your space to protect the sanity of your consciousness from the relentless noise of the modern digital empire. You turn your home into more than just a place to store your belongings or sleep after a long shift. You transform it into a living, breathing spatial companion, a majestic psychological fortress that quietly shields your intellect, gently cures your fatigue, and holds your soul in a state of absolute foreign peace. We have traveled a long, fascinating road together over the last 40 minutes, exploring the hidden master level sensory engineerings that operate behind the glittering facades of the world's most exclusive luxury hotel empires. We have distracted the calculations of the threshold sequence, unmasked the invisible power of sense and acoustic stratifications, and explore the biological miracles of tactile and luminance layering inside the private suit. Across every single one of these design chapters, we are confronted with a beautiful, deeply comforting realization. True luxury has never actually been about the arrogant display of expensive materials or superficial wealth. The marble floors are never just rocks. The signature scent was just a pleasant perfume. The hidden LED lights were never just electrical engineering, and the multi-layer bed was just furniture. The luxury is and has always been a highly sophisticated material manifestation of absolute human empathy. It is an architecture that looks at the fragile, exhausted biological reality of the human being and says, I know you are tired. I know your mind is fractured by the noise of the world. Step inside, drop your weight, and trust the body to my boundaries. I have taken care of everything. Your home is the ultimate physical canvas where you hold the absolute sovereign power to recreate this beautiful architecture of empathy for yourself and the people you love. By learning to master the hidden art of layering, stacking invisible filters of light, sound, and textures, and aroma between your consciousness and the chaos of civilization, you reclaim total control over your psychological well-being. Thank you so much for spending this deep intellectual time with us today, exploring the hidden psychology of space, building and developing content with such a high density of knowledge and analytical thinking is always a long-term challenge on YouTube. The sensitivity, share, aesthetic sense, and support of discerning viewers like you are my greatest motivation and reward. If this documentary changed the way you view your daily environment, and if you want to discover more hidden architectural and behavioral systems that silently direct our psychology, history, and modern life, please share this stream with your friends and interior designers or anyone who's currently trying to build their own private sanctuary. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and click the notification bell so you never miss our next spatial exploration. We have more architectural secrets to unlock together. Until next time, keep your eyes wide open, design your personal boundaries with deep intention, and remember, the most valuable structure you will ever build is, and the ultimate luxury you will ever own is your own internal peace of mind. Goodbye and see you in the next deep dive.